The year was 2324, and humanity had long since abandoned the fragile cradle of Earth, scattering across the solar system. On the icy plains of Uranus' orbiting colony, Lyra Voss walked alone through the gleaming corridors of the central dome, her boots leaving faint prints on the polished alloy floors. Despite the artificial gravity, the cold seeped into her bones, not the chill of Uranus' frozen gases, but the loneliness that came from being born into a world ruled by destiny rather than choice. Lyra had been selected at birth for the Uranian Diplomatic Corps, a program designed to groom the brightest minds for interstellar negotiation. Her future was mapped. Duty first, emotion second. Love, according to the directives of the Directorate, was a distraction, a weakness humans could no longer afford. Yet for years, she had harbored a quiet rebellion within herself, one she could never admit. That rebellion had a name: Cale Arden. Cale was not part of the Diplomatic Corps. He was a rogue engineer, a brilliant mind who defied the bureaucracy of Uranian society. While Lyra was trained to obey, Cale built devices that skirted regulations, devices meant to explore, to experiment, to live. They had met during a mission to stabilize the colony's energy grid, where Cale's unorthodox approach had saved countless lives. From that moment, Lyra had been captivated, not just by his genius, but by the freedom that radiated from him. Their love was forbidden, a secret threaded through stolen glances and midnight conversations in the observation bays overlooking Uranus' swirling storms. Every moment together felt fragile, like ice over a stormy sea, ready to crack under the weight of destiny. And then came the edict. The Directorate announced the Union Protocol. The colony's leaders would pair key individuals with partners chosen to maximize societal efficiency, disregarding personal desires. Lyra's name had appeared on the list, matched with Counselor Saran Bellis, a loyal diplomat with impeccable records and zero capacity for rebellion. The news hit her like a meteor impact. Cale had been excluded from the protocol, effectively erasing any chance of their union. For a week, Lyra wandered through the domes in a daze, her mind divided between duty and heart. She attended the preparation sessions for the Union Protocol, watched Counselor Bellis's composed movements, and felt nothing but cold dread. The directives dictated that she accept her fate, but her heart refused to yield. One night, beneath the green haze of Uranus aurora, Cale found her in the abandoned observation deck. "Lyra," he whispered, voice trembling, "they can assign us to anyone, but they can't control what we feel." "Not yet." Her eyes filled with tears, the first in months. "But the protocol is mandatory. If we refuse, we'll be exiled. Or worse. They'll erase our records, our lives, everything." Cale stepped closer, taking her hands in his. "Then we'll fight. We'll find a way. I've been working on something that could change everything." Lyra's brow furrowed. "Something?" He nodded, revealing a small device glowing with a soft, violet light. "It's a quantum memory interface. It can project consciousness across space, even through time. It's risky. If we're caught, it's the end. But if it works, we can be together, even if the Directorate tries to keep us apart." The thought of seeing him again, even if only through the projections, ignited hope in Lyra's heart. That night, in secret, they tested the device. The projection shimmered into existence, showing Lyra in Cale's workshop on a distant orbital station. Their fingers reached through the barrier of light, and for the first time in days, they felt whole again. But the Directorate was relentless. Within hours, alarms rang through the colony. Unauthorized technology had been detected. Security drones swarmed the observation deck, and Lyra and Cale barely escaped, slipping into maintenance tunnels that led deep beneath the colony's core. The aurora above danced violently, as if reflecting the chaos below. Days turned into a fugitive's nightmare. Lyra had access to critical systems, but every step forward was dangerous. Kale hacked communications and supply lines, guiding her through the labyrinthine underbelly of Uranus' orbital colony. Despite the peril, their love deepened, not in secret, but in survival. Every glance, every touch, became a defiance of the destiny imposed upon them. Their ultimate goal was the relay station, a forgotten outpost at Uranus' polar orbit. From there, Kale could broadcast their consciousness across the network of human colonies, creating a chain of witnesses that could protect them. If they succeeded, they would not only preserve their love, they could force the Directorate to reconsider the Union Protocol altogether. Reaching the relay was harder than anticipated. Security patrols had tightened, and the cold of Uranus' upper orbit seeped through every crack in their suits. When Lyra stumbled over a frozen conduit, Kale caught her, their faces inches apart. "We survived this," he said, voice firm despite exhaustion. "Together." Lyra smiled faintly, drawing courage from his resolve. "Together." Finally, they arrived at the relay. Kale connected the interface, and Lyra prepared to project her consciousness. But the Directorate's enforcers had anticipated them. The room erupted in a flurry of energy disruptors and shock pulses. Lyra felt herself being dragged back, but Kale's hand remained in hers. "Not yet," he growled, and with one last surge, he activated the interface. Lyra's mind flashed across countless colonies, reaching diplomats, engineers, and civilians alike. Her presence, entwined with Kale's, appeared on every monitor, every holographic terminal, speaking directly to the people. "We are more than directives. We are human. We choose love. We choose freedom." The Directorate tried to sever the connection, but the network had grown too large, too entwined. The citizens of Uranus and the colonies rallied, their voices joining Lyra's. The rebellion was not violent, but undeniable, a chorus of humanity demanding choice. In the aftermath, the Union Protocol was suspended. The Directorate convened emergency councils, forced to acknowledge the power of individual will and emotion. Lyra and Kale emerged from hiding to a world that had changed. Their love, once forbidden, had inspired a new era for Uranian society, one where destiny could be rewritten. Standing together on the observation deck once more, the aurora of Uranus casting shifting colors across their faces, Lyra whispered, "We did it." Kale smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her eyes. "No," he said softly. "We lived it. And now we choose our future together." For the first time, Lyra believed it. The stars above were no longer distant, cold points of light. They were witnesses to their defiance, their love, their triumph. And somewhere in the endless spiral of the solar system, humanity began to understand that even in a world of rules and destinies, the heart could carve its own path. Lyra pressed her hand to Kale's, feeling warmth in the freezing Uranian night. Around them, the colony buzzed with cautious optimism, but for them, the world had narrowed to a single truth. Love, against all odds, had won. And as the auroras shimmered brighter than ever, Lyra whispered a vow meant for both of them. "No matter what the future holds, we walk it together." Kale nodded. "Always."